Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to today's webinar. So today's webinar is about GRE Quant Masterclass, wherein we're going to learn some amazing techniques to crack your GRE exam out there, especially for the quant section. And before we dive into the session, we would quickly like to help you understand with respect to who we are and what exactly we do. We're very happy to share that Galvanize Global Education helps students for their study abroad dreams, wherein we help them with the basic step, wherein we help them to prepare for their test preparations like SAT, GRE, TOEFL, IELTS. And not only that, we do have a team of experts helping students to get their admission process done with complete expert guidance and have an easy flow, I would say. And that is how our team of experts have been helping students for their bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degree out there. And not to forget, Galvanize is at your back for your last minute assistance, wherein we help you connect with the right loan providers, helping you with other activities out there for the higher education abroad. And very happy to share that it's actually founded and managed by alumni from top universities like Stanford, Harvard, IIT Madras, and IIM Ahmedabad. Well, here you would see there are a lot of country names mentioned, but we're very happy to share that 65 plus countries have chosen Galvanize in their journey of higher education abroad. That could be either for the test prep journey or the admissions part or visa, or in fact, the complete process out there. And we have placed our students across 1,000 plus universities across 18 plus countries out there. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be watching your dream destination out there on screen. And we would be really glad to help you to achieve your dream out there. Well, this is a very famous thread on Quora, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be, quite engaged in Quora out there. And we would request you to take a look at these two links, which are very, very essential, I would say. Reason being, this is something where students have shared their experience, with Galvanize for the test preparation as well as for the admission counseling. So this would help you understand how Galvanize has changed students' life with their expert guidance out there. And not to forget, a lot of you might be using our mobile applications for GRE, vocab, and SAT. If not, I would really want you to go and check the app out there, because this is a really amazing app with amazing. I would say that you could see, there is an amazing rating out there as well, which speaks about the app. So if you would like to have an amazing app which helps you with the preparation, but with ease, with great guidance out there, do check out our mobile applications out there. Well, with that, we would quickly like to run our first poll for today's webinar. And here the poll goes. Please describe the stage you are in with your GRE test preparations. Either you're thinking of taking the test, you are preparing for the test, you have already booked, or you have already completed, but planning to go for an attempt. Okay, a lot of you are already preparing for the test, but most of you are thinking of taking the test. Well, those of you who are thinking, one short advice, do take the test, because it would be a great opportunity for you to enhance your profile as well. Great. So we have our results, and most of you are preparing for the test out there. Well, with this, we would like to announce something special that we have for today's attendees. And all the attendees will get a discount code up to 25% off, which one can avail while registering for the ETS GRE exam. So if you would like to make use of this special opportunity that we are giving, stay tuned till the session so that we will be helping you with more details on this. And with that, I would like to introduce to you our host for today's webinar. We have with us Sowmiya Subramaniyam, who is the curriculum manager, and she's done her MS in San Jose State University. And to talk a little bit about Sowmiya ma'am, she's got 15 plus years of experience in software development, teaching, training, and content development. And the best part is she loves making students fall in love with maths. So it's not an easy task, but she loves it doing. And I'm pretty sure in today's session, she's going to help us with a lot of information and, fun techniques to crack this exam. And here at Galvanize, she's the curriculum manager where she helps students reach the target score out there. She has also personally responded to any math doubts you might have, and host exciting webinars that we do for our students out there, where she spills the bean on the secrets that she's been sharing with students to crack the exam out there. And with that, we would quickly like to run our short poll out there. The second poll is very important for us because this is going to tell us how confident do you feel about the GRE Quant section. Okay. So I'm pretty sure students who are somewhat confident are going to get more confident with this session ending by end of the session out there. And with that, we would like to end the poll right now, as most of you are a little bit, confident about this quant section. Great, thank you. And now I would request Sowmiya ma'am to start with the session out there.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you for that. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Your video is not available, but we can see the screen.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Yes,
very good evening to you all. So I saw this poll results. Some of you are preparing for the test. Most of you seem to be preparing for the test. You've already booked the test. You're preparing for the test. And some of you are thinking about taking the test, what to do about the test and all that. So what day is it today? So most of you who are preparing for the test, right? You must also be familiar with the enhancements that we are going to have for GRE, right? So today is the day of release of TOEFL. The TOEFL new enhancements got released today, and students have started taking the TOEFL new enhancements. Earlier, it was a 3 hours test. Now it's come to 2 hours test. Shorter reading section, a little lesser number of passages, which has just been made very student friendly. We have got feedback from students who have taken the test today, and students were very, very happy with the enhancements that has happened to TOEFL because of the shorter reading sections. Normally, right, in verbal part, especially, the reading section seems to be the most toughest part of the entire TOEFL. Even in GRE, for that matter, you know that RC passages are much harder. So they have made it more student-friendly by removing the reading section. I mean, a few questions in the reading section. And the writing section also, they've made it very student-friendly, right? The independent writing task has been replaced by academic discussion task, something that can relate to conversation with your professors, lectures, and all that. Right. So students who have taken the test today have given a very good feedback about the test, and they're very happy with the way the test has been, the enhancements have been made. Of course, definitely we all want a shorter test, right? We don't want to sit through 43 hours and take a test. On that note, this is just a little bit about the TOEFL, and then we'll move on. Of course, this webinar is all about GRE. And to let you know about this GRE enhancements, right? How many of you are familiar with the enhancement that's going to happen for GRE? You could post it in the chat box here. There is going to be a shorter GRE test that's going to happen. Some of you are preparing for your GRE. Some of you have booked your GRE. So with effective from 22nd of September 2023, right? There's going to be some kind of enhancement that's going to happen for GRE also. It's a very, very good news, because if you look at the time limit, right, the duration, just like there was a cut short in the duration for TOEFL, we also have this GRE timings. It's been cut short from 4 hours. It's going to be halved. It's halved. It's just going to be 2 hours. Number of sections is just going to be 4 sections. And look at the number of questions here, 40 to 60 questions, because you will have 2 to 3 sections in verbal and 2 to 3 sections quant. It's just going to be 27 questions overall. That's all. They've made it so very student friendly, this new GRE enhancements, right? So if you're planning to take the test, if you're preparing for the test, we would suggest that you wait till September 22nd and take the test. The reason is this one, 4 hours and 2 hours. And analytical writing section, right? Essays. Only one essay you need to write in the new enhanced GRE rather than 2 essays in the current GRE. It's going to be really, really student friendly. Looking at the feedback that we have received from TOEFL, I'm sure students are going to find this GRE also very, very student friendly, very easy to crack because of the limitation in the time, right? 2 hours only. So obviously you will not be fatigued or tired sitting for this 4 hours at a stretch, rather than just going to be 2 hours, complete the test and come out. But the characteristics remain the same. Section-wise adaptivity remains the same. And these are the changes that are going to happen in the new GRE. You will have majorly this will be the change. Number of questions and the duration gets a change here. Otherwise, the score report also, right? The new enhanced GRE version, the score report, you will get it within a few days, like 8 days to 10 days. Rather, normally it's going to take almost a month sometimes, right? For the ETS to release your official score report. If it's just going to be 8 to 10 days, it's going to be easy for you to submit your application process for the universities. Now, what remains similar, right? This is some questions students keep asking. The sales, scale score, raw scores, everything remain the same. So from the raw score to scale score conversion, the scale score is 130 to 170 in each section. The verbal is 130 to 170, and the quant would be 130 to 170. And the overall score remains the same as 260 to 340. The previous slide, yes, please, yes, sure. Yeah, this would be the differences between the current GRE and the new GRE. These are the main differences that you can see, right? Number of verbal questions per section. We will have an exclusive webinar on this enhancement soon. So this is just to, before we get started, I thought I'll just share it with you because today is TOEFL day, basically. But I just wanted to let you know that since students have given a very good feedback about TOEFL enhancements, I'm sure students must be enjoying this GRE enhancements also. It's going to be very student friendly. So here the same fees, but you can pay in the local currency. You can use the on-screen calculator. All these features remain the same. So the skills and the type of questions that you will see in GRE, right? The question types, everything remains the same. There's no change that in that at all. Everything remains the same. So if you started preparing for GRE, there's no change in that. The preparation per se will not have undergo any change. It's only the time limit, duration per question that's going to be actually increased, right? It's going to be like 27 questions and 47 minutes that you will take. That would be like roughly you will get around 1.7 minutes per question. Around that time you will get, rather than the 0.8 minutes per question you will get in the current GRE. So the number of the minute per question will be actually higher in the enhanced GRE. So these are some student-friendly features that have been added for the enhancements that's going to be in effect from September 22nd, 2023. So on that note, this webinar is all about problem solving. Problem solving, what is a problem? So when there is a problem, we always try to find a solution for this, right? So you need to think about the problem, think about the process to solve the problem and arrive at a solution. This is what problem solving is all about. But given all the time in the world, anybody can crack GRE Quant. If you look at the syllabus of GRE Quant, when I see all of you, right, the stage you are in, your preparations, preparatory stage, or your book for the test, which means you are already aware of what GRE Quant syllabus is. You will have like basic syllabus, very basic syllabus. The four, the 4 pillars of GRE Quant would be algebra, arithmetic, data analysis, and then geometry. Right? These are basic stuffs that you had learned in your primary section, middle school and high school. That's all. No advanced level calculus, no advanced trigonometry, nothing is tested in GRE. But what makes GRE different from the exams that we do at school? GRE is a skill-based test. GRE Quant is a skill-based test. No root memory is going to help you, right? You by heart something and vomit it, that's not going to help you at all. You have to understand the concepts properly. Mastery of concepts. Second thing is time management. These are the 2 important things to crack a GRE Quant exam. You have to be master of the concepts. It could be a very simple question on prime numbers. It could be a very simple question on even numbers. But the way the questions are asked is different. That is why you have like different question types in GRE Quant. That is, each question types tests a different skill of yours. For example, you will have a quantitative comparison question types. It's mostly skills, tests your ability to compare 2 quantities. How well are you able to compare 2 quantities? How well are you able to plug in the values effectively? All those skills are tested in a quantitative comparison question. When it comes to multiple choice question, the question test your skills on how well you are able to back substitute, go from the answer choices. Don't go for an analytical approach in GRE. That is not going to help you at all. GRE is a time-bound test. Again and again, I repeat in all my webinars that since it's a time-bound test, only the strategies are going to help. Nobody is going to give you step marks for doing it in a descriptive manner, right? So it's all about strategies, how well you are able to apply the strategies effectively within that time. That is all is this GRE Quant all about. It's not basically a intense math test. First, you need to understand that. It's not at all an intense math test. Basic syllabus that you had learned, refresh those syllabus very well. Exponents, properties of integers, it could be algebra, linear equation, system of linear equation, two variables, all those topics, right? Refresh those topics. And then learn how to apply the strategies for those topics, right? So that is what problem solving is all about in GRE Quant. So in this webinar, I'll give you a problem. So let me tell you how this webinar is going to be structured. I'll throw you some problems. Some problems will be very easy. So we would expect that to be solved within 30 seconds. Some problems will be a little harder, might take 1 minute. So when I say problem solving in quant, right, as I just mentioned, time management is the key. So for every question, what is the maximum time that you need to take? So it is multiple choice question. You should not take more than 2 minutes to solve the question, which means, again, you should be thorough with the concept. You should also be thorough with the strategy. Multiple choice question. Don't try to derive the answers. The answers are there in front of you. Try to eliminate the wrong answers. The right answer will be there. So this methodology you will adopt even for GRE verbal. Multiple choice questions, weed out the incorrect answers. The correct answers will be in front of you. Same with multiple answer question. Since multiple answer question, you might have to select all the correct answers, right? You will not be given partial credit for selecting 1 or 2 answers. If there are 4 answers which are correct, obviously it does take 2.5 minutes per question. Quantitative comparison question. Quantitative comparison question does not involve any formula. If you are using a formula in a quantitative comparison question, or you're using a long method to approach a quantitative comparison question, or taking more than a minute, which means your approach to quantitative comparison question is wrong. You have to unlearn and relearn an approach. Like there are several mnemonics that we had been telling in our webinars, in our past webinars. I would have reiterated on mnemonics called as Zone F. That's a very, very important way of plugging in numbers, which I will be dealing with even this webinar also. Numeric entry question, of course, is only type where you have to search, look for the answer, which means you have to derive the answers. Even in numeric entry questions, if you plug in properly, right, effectively think of some numbers to plug in, because we are all actually happy to play with numbers than with variables. So if you learn how to plug in numbers wisely, the numeric entry question also becomes very simple to solve. Data interpretation questions, you will have 2 sets of data interpretation questions. The first set, observing the graph and solving it might take a little longer time. After that, the second set should be much, much easier. That is how data interpretation questions are framed. So the way they are framed, ETS has framed these questions is not to test your math skills. It's to test different skills in each. So they're planning to test that math skills. They will just give you one type of question, like multiple choice, or could be a objective type question or something like that. Why have they've given so many different types of question? Because each question types tests a different skill of yours, rather than your calculative ability skill, though you have an on-screen calculator. So most of the questions might not require you to use a calculator. There could be a few, of course, yes, you might have to use on-screen calculator, but not all the questions. 95 to 96% of the questions you encounter in GRE, you will not need a calculator. Just apply the strategies. Okay. On that note, you should have a paper and pen with you right now, because I'm going to throw a question. I will have a timer. So I will be waiting till you complete that and the timer ends, and then proceed with the answer. That is how this webinar is going to be. It's going to be problem solving webinar, right? So, the meaning the webinar title says that we are all going to solve the problem. I am going to solve the problem with you. You are going to solve the problem with me. So I hope you all have your paper and pen with you. So as and when I throw the question, right, and the timer starts, yes, you will all type your answers. Whatever answers you have got, you will type it in the chat box. And then at the end of, and the timer ends, I will present how to solve that problem. Clear? Is my instructions clear? Okay, you could type a yes here if my instructions are very clear, or if you have any doubts with this. Shall we start? Yes, good. Thank you, Sanjit. Thank you, Shamdeep. Yeah. So The time starts now. This is a quantitative comparison question. Remember that you will not take more than 1 minute. So this is actually a 30 seconds problem. Start doing it. If you get an answer, just type it in the chat box. Time up. Okay. I think 95% of the students have given answer as option A. And a few students, as expected, have given the answer as option D. Okay. So here you go. I'll tell you what mistakes that you have done. When you have X and Y as integers, very instinctively, you all tend to plug in X and Y as positive integers. Where is it given in the question that they are positive integers? They're just integers. Integers could be 0 also, right? Integers could be positive integers. Integers could be negative integers, right? Had it been a positive integers, then x plus y the whole square is x square plus y square plus 2xy. Then whatever you're saying is right. X plus y the whole square, that should be greater than x square plus y square. But nowhere it's mentioned they are positive integers, right? So this is where I said this proper wise way of plugging in numbers helps. When you have a question like this, please read the question carefully. It's a normal instinct for students to take, when you talk about numbers, you always take positive numbers. You always take integers. When numbers don't necessarily mean integers, let me tell you that. Numbers could be a fraction, numbers could be a decimal, numbers could be an irrational number also. When we talk about integers, integers could be 0, integers could be -1, -2, and so on. Integers could be positive also. But instinctively, most of you have given the answer as A, which is wrong. The answer is option D. If you look at this, if I substitute x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. So this is where the zone F. Every webinar of mine, I would have highlighted on the zone F. What is zone F? Wise choice of structured way of plugging in numbers. When you have unknowns here and you do not know the value of, don't jump to a conclusion. This is a very common mistake students do. Substitute x with x and y, the variables with 0. Z stands for 0, O for ones, N for negative numbers, E for extremes, F for fractions. I'm sorry. Right? So make sure that you plug in the numbers appropriately. If you substitute x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0, it becomes 2 power 0 and 2 power 0 in quantity A and B, which will be 1, which means quantity A is equal to quantity B. But then if you substitute x and y as 1, look at what quantity A and quantity B is. Quantity A would be 2 power 4 and quantity B would be 2 power 2, right? So this is 16 and this would be 4. So you have an inconclusive evidence, right? So you say that the relationship cannot be determined because for different values of x and y, you get different options to be the right answer. Clear? I hope those who have marked as A, suddenly, immediately you all started putting that A. Without a second thought, you thought that most of you had thought that x and y are positive integers. Please don't make that mistake. It's just given that as integers. So which means it could be 0, it could be negative. Very, very common mistake. So I expected that mistake and most of you have done that mistake. Please understand that now. So we have lots of questions on our platform solving such types of problems where you have unknowns, plug in with numbers. What kind of numbers? Apply the zone F. Right? So we have lots of webinar videos also on this, right? Okay. Shall we move on to the next question? Are you all set for the next question? I hope yes. The time starts now. If it's not visible, quantity A is P, quantity B is Q plus R plus S. This is also a 30-second problem. Time is running. You can type your answers in the chat box. Time up. 30-second problem. Okay, so I've got all the answers. Some of you have given A, some of you have given B, some of you have given C, some of you have given D. I've got all the 4 answer choices. Okay, perfect. So there is a rule here, right? For whenever you have geometry problem, as I told you, when you start with this preparation, mastery of concepts is very important. When I say mastery of concepts, it's not only the theorems or the formulae and all that, it's also the rules that are required for a triangle or required for a quadrilateral. So for a triangle, the basic rule, triangle inequality rule, it's called as triangle inequality rule, sum of two sides of a triangle should always be greater than the third side. That's a very, very important rule, right? There'll be sums based on that in GRE. Similarly, for a quadrilateral, those who know the rules of quadrilateral, sum of three sides should be greater than the fourth side. So Q plus R plus S is greater than P. Straightforward answer. If you know the rule, immediately you can write the answer for a quadrilateral. But some students might not know about the quadrilateral. Definitely you can divide that into two triangles and again apply the triangle inequality. So either you should know the quadrilateral inequality or the triangle inequality to solve this problem. You cannot substitute numbers here because I do not know the values of P, Q, R, and S, right? Randomly substituting numbers will not help at all. I think some of you have just substituted the numbers. It will not help. Make sure that you understand the triangle inequality. Sum of two sides should be greater than the third sides. Right? That is a very important triangle inequality for a quadrilateral, whether it's convex quadrilateral or concave quadrilateral. Sum of three sides should be greater than the fourth side. Right? So this is a very simple inequality. It's true for many polygons. Yes, exactly. Yes, Shamdeep, you are absolutely right. So here, since we are dealing with quadrilateral, sum of three sides is greater than the fourth side, right? So simple inequality. This one is, if you did not know, please learn that now. On our portal, again, we have an ultimate GRE review, right? We have a PDF file that's part of the study plan of the students who have enrolled with us. That's the first one that lists all the formula. That's a one-stop document, right? Students will have it as reference. They normally download it. They have it with them. And it has got all the rules required for GRE, all the formulae required for GRE. So normally we tell the students, you open that ultimate GRE review at Galvanize, open that, have it with you whenever you take the test. So 3 to 4 tests, just have it as reference. Fifth test, you would have already internalized all the rules. Right? That is how it works. So make sure that you open the formula, look at the formula while taking the test, few tests, and after from the fourth or fifth test, close the notebook. You will know that you have already registered all those formulae. These are all very, very important rules or formulae or theorem, whatever you call it, for GRE. Right? Are we for the third question? Yes? Right. The question starts now. It's a 45-second question. So this question is basic to do with only the even integers, right? So that is a very fundamental concept that we learn in our primary section, even integers, odd integers. This is a 45 seconds one. Again, I'm getting all kinds of answers here. So many A's, several D's, B's, and everything. Okay. So let's see how it works. So what do you mean by range? Range is the difference between the maximum and the minimum value. That is called as range, right? Range of sum of values of R, S, and T. So basically, you have to find out R plus S plus T. What is the maximum value that R plus S plus T can take? What is the minimum value that R plus S plus T can take? And this is also given to you. Looking at this constraint on R plus S plus T, what is the maximum value that R plus S plus T can take? T can be the maximum value that T can take because it's an even number, right? It has to be 58. S is 56, R is 54. Minimum value that they can take is 42, 44, and 46. It's 168 minus 132, 36. I didn't see any of you giving this answer C. I hope you got it right. This is a 45-second problem. All I wanted was, what is the range of sum of values of R, S, and T? R plus S plus T. R, S, and T are even integers. I'm not very sure if some of you have missed this even integers thing. Some of you might have considered this to be any three integers. right? And some of you have given the answer as D. Maybe you consider this as any three integers. They have to be even integers. So maximum even integers, minimum even integers. Sum them up. That's all you need to do. Clear? Got it? Anybody contesting this? I mean, you have any second opinion about this? Wonderful, Shamdeep. Thank you. Shall we move on to the next question? Yes. Are you all in for the next question? Can I have an emphatic yes? Very good. Thank you, Sachin. Right. So this is again a 45-second problem. A very simple problem if you understand this properly. At a certain school, all 118 juniors have an average arithmetic mean, right? That's exam score of 88, and all 100 seniors have a final exam score of 92. So the average final exam score of all the seniors and juniors combined and 94. So you should have concept clarity of arithmetic mean. What is arithmetic mean? What is median? What is mode? So if you look at this average, they've specifically mentioned arithmetic mean. The reason is averages don't always refer to arithmetic mean. They could be median, they could be mode, anything. So again, I'm getting all kinds of answers except answer D. People have been giving me A, B, and C. Right? It's a 45 seconds problem. Okay. So when you have a question like this, right? You have 118 juniors and their exam score is 88. 100 seniors, exam score is 92. And the question is asking about the average final exam score of all the seniors and juniors combined. The normal procedure would be multiply 118 times 88 plus 100 times 92 and divide by the total number of seniors and juniors. That would be 218. That's a normal procedure. And find out the average, right? Yeah, some of you have given B. B is the right answer. Let's see why B is the right answer. You don't have to necessarily calculate it here. Remember that. These are 45 seconds problem, right? So some of the students, who have given B as the answer, you have taken more than the required time of this question. It's actually a 30 to 45 seconds question, right? You will not take more than 45 seconds for this problem because I think that you have calculated the score. Don't do that. None of the quantitative comparison questions have been designed that way in GRE. The way the questions are designed is you have to take a rational approach, a different approach to solve those quantitative comparison questions. Here, if you look at the way the data is presented, right, 118 juniors, 100 seniors. There are more juniors than seniors, right? So when there are more juniors than seniors, then if you look at the final mean, you're calculating the combined score, it is always tilted towards that number which is larger. It is like your seesaw. What is mean? Mean will act like a fulcrum in the seesaw. You have a seesaw, right? Mean is your fulcrum. So wherever the weight is more, to balance that, it tends to shift to that side. That is what is the nature of mean. So when you have, for example, in a data set, right, if you have an outlier, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I add a 500 to it. If you look at the mean, calculate the mean will tend towards 500. Same thing happens here. Wherever the data is more, there's 118 juniors and there are just 100 seniors. And though if you look at the scores 88 and 92, you're going to multiply it. But still, look at the number there, 118 and 100. There is an 18-point difference between both. So which means the mean that you're going to calculate is going to shift towards 118. This clearly says that the combined score of them should be shifting towards which value? It should be closer to 88. That is, it is going to shift towards the score of 118 juniors rather than the 92 seniors, right? It's going to shift towards this end. Therefore, the value of quantity A is less than 92 or in fact less than 94. Simple logic here. Okay, so if you understand the meaning of arithmetic mean, understand that it's fulcrum, it's going to get moved towards the one that has got a larger data, or it is going to be tilted towards one that when we have greater outliers, something like that, then it'll be easy for you to solve such a kind of problem. So understanding the concept of mean, median, mode is very, very important. You will not have a question where a data set is given to you, calculate mean. That's a very, very silly, simple question, right? They will, GRE normally doesn't test you on such skills, right? Not a calculated skills. Shall we move on to the next question? Yes, guys. I'm very happy to see you all responding so well. Okay, this is a 1-minute question, right? It's a word problem. So obviously it's a 1-minute question. In a certain household cleaning solution, the ratio by volume of detergent ammonia to water is 1:2:9. The solution will be adjusted so that the volume of detergent to water is doubled, while the ratio of detergent to ammonia is halved. Quantity A is the total volume of detergent ammonia in the adjusted solution. Quantity B, the total volume of water in the solution. Now, this is to do with mixtures and proportion. We have got lots of problems on the platform with lots of videos on how to attack different types of mixtures and allegations questions, right? Ratio and proportion questions. These are sure shot questions in GRE. This is a 1-minute problem. So by now you should have been able to get the answer for this problem. As I told you, quantitative comparison question, maximum time allotted is 1 minute. Have that in mind. Don't go beyond that. Time up. People got the answers? I've been getting answers after this. Yes, B, A, B. Okay, fine. Fair enough. I've got 3 answers now. Let's see which one is the right answer. Okay. So the volume of detergent is to ammonia is to water is given as 1:2:9. Detergent is to ammonia is 1:2. Detergent is to whatever is given in the question, right? Try to write it like this. Don't just keep reading the question and writing it verbose. Try to write like this. D is to W is 1:9. This is what is given. Ratio of D is to W is doubled, right? The ratio of detergent to water is doubled. Detergent to ammonia is half. When this is doubled, it becomes 2:9. When the ratio of D is to A is halved, it becomes 1:4. But then try to make this ratio, the D here as the same. So I've made this 1:4 as 2:8. So this way I'm able to find out the ratio of D is to A is to W as 2:8:9. I could take it as 20 liters, 80 liters. When I say it's a ratio, it's just you can find out a value should be a multiple of that, right? So I am taking it as 20, 80, and 90, whatever value you want, you can take it, and you will definitely know that quantity A is 100 liters is greater than quantity B. Clear? Right? Am I clear? Any doubts in this? Anybody finding this little difficult, or you feel that this answer is needs to be explained clearly? This is a very simple question basically on ratio and proportion. And as I've been telling you, we have lots of videos explaining the basic concepts of ratio and proportion. Apart from that, we do have 1,000, 2,500 questions on the platform, GRE, right? So you will have enough practice right from the fundamentals of a topic to the higher level advanced topics. You will have lots of practice. Clear? We'll move on to the next sum. So this is a 1-minute problem because it is to do with normal distribution. This normal distribution is just a one-off question. Your time starts now. It's a one-off question in GRE, right? So most of the times, I'm not sure this is tested, but if it is tested, this is the type of question that you will encounter in GRE with respect to normal distribution. So there is something that you all have to know. Remember, as I told you, this is a skill-based test, but with respect to normal distribution, at least there is a percentage that you need to remember to understand this problem better, right? Students have started giving the answers. B, A, okay. Wonderful. I've been getting answers as A, B, B. So good. There's several students who have given the answers as A. This was quite fast. This is something that I thought will take a lot of time for you all because it's to do with standard deviation. Because normally, right, students tend to kind of, they're not familiar with standard deviation and mean in their high school. So they would take a little longer time to understand this question and apply it. But this is the only topic for that matter, which is not taught in high school, basically. So this is one extra syllabus, rather, I would say. So that is the reason it's a one-off question in GRE. When say the one-off question, it's kind of not tested very often, frequently. But if it is tested, this is the type of question. Okay, very good. I've been getting A's and B's. Let's see which one is the right answer. For you to understand this is something that you should be familiar with. The probability distribution, right, of a random variable, one standard deviation away from the mean is 68%, 2 standard deviation would be 95%, and 3 standard deviation would be 14%. Yeah. For a group of test takers, if you look at this, the fraction of test takers in the group who scored greater than 158. The mean is, normal distribution is something that's symmetric about the mean. The mean is given as 154 and a standard deviation of 3. So a 3 standard deviation from the mean would be 157 and 158 lies above that, right? Greater than that. So if you look at it, the fraction of test takers in the group who scored greater than 158 would be this one, right? Less than 16%, right? Less than 16%, that is less than 0.16. And this is obviously 0.3. 1 by 3 is 0.33. So which one is greater, quantity A or quantity B? Quantity B is greater, right? Clear? Understood? For those who got quantity A as the answer, do you understand why quantity B is greater? Yes. I hope you're all clear about this, right? This is to do with this entire normal distribution table, right? The percentage for the probability distribution of a random variable lying between 1 standard deviation and 2 standard deviations away from the mean and median. So this is a topic that you can see on our platform. Also, if you have enrolled with our platform, we have lots of videos explaining this topic, because this is one of question. Still, students are not comfortable with this topic because this is not learnt in high school. So we start with 154, which is the mean. So the graph is symmetric about the mean, and its 1 standard deviation would be 154 plus 3. 2 standard deviation would be 154 plus 6. 3 standard deviation would be 154 plus 9. Now, if you look at 1 standard deviation from the mean, it's 154 plus 3, which is 157. And this is the percentage that I just mentioned here. Probability that a random variable lies between 1 standard deviation from the mean. That is 154 minus 3, 154 plus 3 would be 68%. Okay, cool. Next question, question number 5. Again, no GRE exam goes without these exponents. Exponents are a very common question in GRE. The time starts now. I'm giving you 1 minute for this question. Definitely, it does take less than that if you know how to solve exponents. Time is running. I'm sure most of you would have solved it by now. This is a very common question, very, very common question in GRE. Either you know how to solve the exponents, using that you can solve this, or think of any other method that you know. Students have been coming up with B as the answer. Very happy to see this. Okay, good. Within this time, you have all got the answer as B. Right, 4 to 5 people have got the answer as B. Very good. Excellent. Time up. So most of you have got the answer as B. B is the right answer. So how do you solve this? I take this AB is equal to square root of 3. Plug this in AB. You don't have to say B is equal to root 3 by A and then substitute it, and then that would be a little time consuming process. You just substitute AB is equal to square root of 3, substitute it here, and then do some kind of cancellations, right? You should be able to do some kind of cancellations in the numerator and denominator. Simplify this. This would become square root of 2 by 3. This would become 1 over root 3. When you just compare, you will get square root of 6. Cross multiply. How do you compare fractions, right? Just cross multiply and compare them. That's easy for you to do. Rather than finding out the value of square root of 2 and then writing this 1.414 using the calculator, this is an easy way of do. Root 6 obviously is less than root 9. Root 9 is 3. So therefore, root 6 is less than 3. Therefore, quantity B is greater. Good job, guys who have got the answer as B. For those who did not understand, I hope you got a fair idea of how to solve this question, right? This is actually a 45 seconds question. If you know, I think by 40th second or 46th second, I saw most of you getting the answer right. Good. We'll move on to the next question. The time starts now. I'm sorry. This was a question. I'm very sorry. Time starts now. Which of the following equations is true for all positive values of x and y? Select all that apply. The question says select all that apply. I'll tell you more about the select all that apply later. For now, just give me an answer for this. Yes, timer has started. Time is running. C and D, B and D, A and B, A, B, E. I'm getting several answers here. B and D. Okay, cool. Okay, time up. Some students have written E as the answer. I'm not sure how you all proceeded with this, right? Some students have got B as a very, very handful of students have got B as the answer. Okay, first thing, let me tell you that even if the question says select all that apply, earlier it was a mandatory thing that ETS would frame a question in such a way that when the question says select all that apply, you will have 2 to 3 answer choices, the right answer choice. But this is a very recent GRE question where just one of the answer choice was the right answer choice. Though they mentioned that this question seems to be a multiple answer question, and we feel there are multiple answers to this, this is actually a multiple choice question. They have framed it like that. Right? The answer is option D. Those who know exponents, as I told you, exponents is a very, very important chapter. You have to learn that exponent topic very thoroughly. But again, this is to do with unknowns, right? None of us like to play with unknowns. So if you do not know to play with unknowns, go for substitution. All I have done here is taken x is equal to y is equal to 1, plugged it back into the question. Using that, I would eliminate option 1. Option A, root x plus square root of y is equal to square root of x plus y. Obviously, left-hand side would be 1. And then the right-hand side would be square root of x plus left-hand side would be 2. Right-hand side would be square root of 2. Okay, left-hand side is not equal to right-hand side. But then for all the option B, C, D, E, you will get the answer as 1. But don't stop there. Okay, but just because you plugged in 1, you got the answer, don't stop. Because it's multiple answer question, you should be all the more careful. Try plugging in some other set of numbers. It has to be true for all positive numbers. So I have taken the choice of x as 1 and y as 4 because we are dealing with square root of y's and square root of x. When I did that, I could eliminate C, D, E. So I've already eliminated A in the first plugin. Second plugin, I've eliminated C, D, E. Therefore, the answer is option B. Option B is the only right answer. Those who know the laws of exponents very clearly know that obviously A, C, D, E are false. Right? They can't work at all. So B has to be the right answer because x power 4, y power 16, the whole power half. So it's x square, y power 8. Direct answer. It's a 30-second problem. Ideally, if you know the laws of exponents and everything. But if you do not know the laws of exponents, not an issue. If you are trying to plug in numbers, make sure that you plug in at least 2 to 3 sets of numbers to check. This is a multiple answer question. Multiple answer questions are always tricky because you will not get any credit for typing in just one answer. You will have to submit all the answers to get it right. Clear? Okay. The next question, the time starts now. If A, B, C, D, E, all these are less than or equal to 10, 110, yes. Hashimo has got a doubt. Yes, post it out. Students have started answering this question. Yes, Hashimo, what is your doubt? Just waiting for Hashimo's question. Before that, I think most of students have started answering this. A, B, C, D, E is less than or equal to 110, the average of, so students have been practicing for GRE, right? No, Hashimo, we don't allow the participants to speak. You could type it in the chat box. Okay. The question is, what is the least possible value of A? Hashimo, I'm just waiting for you to type it in the chat box. Meanwhile, I'll start answering this. So most of you have given the answers quickly, very quickly. You've started giving the answers for this. So the question is asking about the least possible value of A. This is a very, very, very common question in GRE. When the question says about least possible value of A, try to make A least, which means you have to make all the other quantities, right? B, C, D, E as the maximum. That is the idea here. So to try to make A the least, you have to make B, C, D, E is the maximum, which means what is the maximum value that B, C, D, E can take? It is 110. So what I'm going to do here is This, I'm sorry, D, it's not D, it's B. B, C, D, E. I'm going to spread this 110 across B, C, D, E. Make everything B, C, D, E as 110. So B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to E is equal to 110. So if they take the maximum value, using that information, we can find the value of A, which would be the least. To make something the least, you have to maximize everything. That is the idea used here. There'll be several problems using this idea in GRE. A very common idea that is used to frame the questions in GRE by ETS. Okay, to maximize something, to minimize something, maximize all the other entities in the question. So similarly, to maximize something, minimize all the entities in the question. Very common question in GRE. Okay, here, so I've maximized B, C, D, E. What is the maximum value? That is 110. So B, C, D, all the four values will take the value 110. So total would become A plus 450 divided by 5. That would be the arithmetic mean. That is given as 100. Therefore, this would say that A is 60. Clear? Got it? Okay. Okay. Now with this, I have got lots of problems to be solved, but then there is a time constraint. I would also want to show you how our platform looks like. So after this question, maybe this would be the last question. We do have lots of questions. And on the platform also, we have got lots of questions. So start this question. This is a 1 minute, 30 seconds question. You could start doing this. After this, I'll just explain how our platform looks like. I hope the question is very clear. Distribution of 1,700 different measurements. B is at the 73rd percentile. Now, this concept of percentile, again, just like normal distribution, right? You have to learn this concept of percentile. After all, you're all GRE test takers. So you should be familiar with the concept of percentile. What is it? Because your scores are given as percentiles. A 165%, a 165 score in quant takes you at a 85 or 88 percentile, but the same score in verbal will put you at a 95th percentile. So that percentile is very, very important. Yes, students have started answering. Good. Good to see some response coming in. Yes. We still have time here because this is to do with percentile. Normally, students are kind of not very clear about this concept of percentile, but I suggest that you all have to understand this, right? What is a percentile? Because your score is, after all, it's going to be in percentile. That is what is going to be looked at by the universities. What percentile, where you stand is what the university is going to look at more than your actual score. Okay, some of you have given B as the answer. Right. E as the answer. Most of you have given E as the answer. Those who have given the answer, they have given E as the answer. Okay, E is the right answer. So what is a percentile? Percentile is just tells you that when you say V is at the 73rd percentile, it means that 73% of the total test takers or total measurements is less than this V. So if you look at this, 1,241 measurements are less than V. Therefore, this is the 1,242nd measurement. Remember that this value is not given. It is this measurement. This is the index. Rather, it gives you the index of this V, right? Index of this V is 73rd percentile and 1,242nd measurement. That is what is the first statement. The second line says that there are 136 measurements in the distribution that are greater than C, but less than V. 136 measurements lie here. So when I say 73% of the measurements lie below this V, right? That will be 1,241 measurements. Out of this, 136 measurements are here between the C and V. Therefore, the remaining 1,105 measurements are here in this part, right? In this part, you have 1,105 measurements, 1,241 minus 136. So this would mean that C is the 1,106th measurement. Again, if you look at it, I'm not giving the value. I'm just giving the index for these measurements. So this is given to you 1,106. What percentage is that? What percentage of 1,700 is that? That would give you the 65th percentile. So this is the 65th percentile of all the measurements. Yeah. So we have at Galvanize lots and lots of videos and 2,500 questions, as I told you, right? Different types of questions, different types of strategies for all the questions. So for every question like this, if you look at this, right, we have alternate explanations. We have students from different platforms, right? different background. We have a bioinformatics students. We could have a student who has done a UG for 4 years in biology major, who would need a lot of refresher in mathematics. They have lost touch with mathematics in class 12. There would be students who had lost touch with mathematics even in grade 10, right? They would have taken a pure science group in 11 and 12. So which means, of course, the GRE syllabus is only whatever you had learned till your grade 9. That is what is covered in GRE. So they would all need a refresher. So for all this, to cater to all kinds of, all genre of students that we have for now with us, right? We have different explanations for the students, right? Yes, of course, we do have a diagnostic test, Neeraj Pandit. You could contact the number that will be given to you at the end of this webinar. Yes, you can try that. And then just to tell you how our pedagogy is, right? Teaching pedagogy is, we have the platform. On the platform, we have several assessments. Every assessment in quant, you will have at least 2 explanations. One for the general public, right? General people who need to get familiarized with the concept. For second type of explanation for people who are already familiar with the concept, but they might need a shortcut. So like this, we have several types of explanations on the platform. And then just to tell you how videos, right? We do have learning materials like this in the form of videos, where we teach the basic fundamental concepts, right from what is a set, what is a number, right from that. If you need a real refresher, what is a fraction, what is an integer, to some higher level concept like this permutation. This is a very common doubt students have, who are even masters in mathematics, right? Who know a little more of maths, who have good aptitude. They always get confused with permutations, combinations. When do you apply permutations? When do you apply combinations? So these videos like this, right? What is double counting? Very common mistakes that students make in the permutations, combinations. All these are explained as strategies, videos. Several videos are there on the platform for you to look at. So this is how our learning teaching pedagogy happens. And then apart from that, we do have, one second. Yeah. So if you look at people, right, who have, as I told you, we have people from different backgrounds. So here, if you look at this, Bhavna Kannam, she was bioinformatics major, who took a GRE with us, who enrolled with us. And then look at the delta of hers, right? It has gone from a 141 in a diagnostic test. Neeraj Pandit just said that you want a diagnostic, you can always take that test. So if you look at this, it's gone from 141 to 161 in the verbal. And the score from quant is 144 to 160. She is a biotechnology major, which means she needed a lot of refresher concepts. So all the videos that we have, the basic fundamental videos, helped her to crack this, get to this level. It's almost a good jump in her percentile. It's a very good jump in her verbal percentile also. So similarly, we have the next one. So she is Chandni. She's from IIT Madras. If you look at IIT Madras, normally their aptitude for math is very good. So they need more, help with English. So look at her improvement here, 149 to 161 and to 165 in the actual GRE in English. So this is the kind of jump that the students get when they enroll with us on the platform, with the videos that I just showed you, right, which explains all the concepts from the basic to the fundamental concepts. So if you are already familiar with the concepts, accordingly, we'll give you a study plan. We have a structured study plan. It's highly personalized, let me tell you, based on your diagnostic test score, based on your aptitude, right? We measured your aptitude through our diagnostic test score. Diagnostic test. It's a very good benchmarking test. And after that, based on that, we'll throw you a study plan. That also takes into account whether you're a working professional, what time you have to take the study for GRE, all those aspects are taken into consideration when we create that study plan, structure that study plan for you. Every day, what task you need to do, that is all given in the study plan, right? So it'll be easy for you. It'll be like, you don't have to take that pain of charting out a plan for you to study. It's all there. When you enroll with us, it's all there. And if you look at it, I just showed you some videos. There are advanced videos. There are summary videos for you to refresh the concepts, right? Everything is there on the platform. Just enroll with us and definitely it's going to be. So here are some of the video testimonials of our test takers who have cracked and got a success to the dream universities, right? Dhruvesh Malpur, computer technology, computer engineering. It's so nice to see their scores. Enrolled with us, taking our diagnostic test, going through the mock test.
So, ma'am, I see that a lot of students have been asking about how Galvanize can help them in their preparations out there. And for them, I would quickly like to drop a message here that we have shared a link in the chat box. And this link will help you connect with the experts out there who will help you to understand how exactly galvanized courses help and how you can crack the GRE exam and get your scores. So I would really urge students to fill in the form, check the link that has been sent in the chat box, so that this chat box will help us understand you better and help us also, assist you in much better way. So don't miss out on this link. This is a very important link, and do fill in the form, get in touch with our experts who will help you understand how the whole process, like Sowmiya ma'am said, she's almost explained you the whole process, how the video lessons would be, with some examples where students have showed their improvement in score. And that's how, Galvanize has been helping students. So if you fill in this form, our experts will get in touch with you and guide you with more details and have a personalized conversation with you to understand what your requirements are, and based on that they would suggest you the courses out there. So don't miss out, make opportunity of this test. And not to forget, we would quickly like to run a poll here, wherein we also would like to understand, how you would like to prepare for this exam. Great. I see a couple of them have also shown interest in online course with a structured personalized plan. Well, in that case, I would suggest you to check the link that has been sent in the chat, because this link will help us connect with you and help you in a most, essential way, I would say. So don't miss out this opportunity. And we have again shared the link in the chat box, and do it, click on the form and get in touch with us. Great. Thank you for sharing the results out there.
So guys, this personalized study plan that Ramya was talking about, this is actually very, very unique to Galvanize, right? We give you a task on an everyday basis for you. Every day, what you need to do, how much time you need to allot based on the time that you have, right? Everything is there in the personalized study plan. Ramya, are you continuing?
Yes, ma'am. From here, I will take over.
Yeah.
So as you can see on screen, Galvanize has been helping students with the courses through mobile applications. But in case you would like to get more assistance, as a lot of you have been asking us about how Galvanize can help you, what are the course and everything. Well, in that case, Galvanize thus has online course material that will help students for their test preparations. And not only that, yes, of course, we have our admission services as well. And to know more about how the paid courses will be there, we request you to please fill in the form that is sent in the chat box. And some of the perks and advantages of being with Galvanize is something that I would like to enlighten here. One is a personalized study plan. Second is an unlimited ask an expert. And not to miss out, your host for today's webinar, Sowmiya ma'am, would also be answering some of your doubts that have been mentioned in the online portal out there.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ramya, on that. Unlimited is really unlimited for you guys. So when you ask a question and you feel that the answer, you have not got the answer what you wanted, right? You can keep posting that question. You will know that we will come out with, as I told you, different types of explanation for a single problem. For one problem, we have 2 to 3 explanations, right? Whatever you are comfortable, pick that up and move on. End of the day, we want you to be understanding the concepts, right? Same thing happens with the explanation also. When you post a doubt, when you will reply, we'll reply in the different ways. For first reply, suppose you're not convinced, we do it in the second way. As many doubts as possible, you can post on the same thread, right? For the same question. And we'll make sure that you get that question correct and you get that answer clear. That is the idea. So that will be within 2 business days, you will get all the reply for that question instantly. Yes, Ramya, you can continue.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for explaining this, because this is something very important which students generally miss out there. So again, here I would like to continue with practice questions, because you will be coming across a lot of practice questions throughout this journey. With also, you will be having some of the mock series as well. And not to forget, very important, you will have the updated test pattern at most affordable rate and easy way of learning. So when you enroll with Galvanize, you will not feel the pressure of learning learning for these exams, as our experts will make it more easy for you out there. And
Yes.
not to forget,
Ramya, one second. When she said updated test pattern, yes, we will be the pioneers in launching that GRE enhancements. Also, we are like making it so student friendly, very similar to what ETS is planning, right? So September 22nd, everything will be on place on our platform. So if you want to enroll for that, right, just go ahead and start your enrollment now itself. Yes, Ramya, you can go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. And now we would like to talk a little bit about how the admission process happens. So when a student enrolls with Galvanize, to start with the onboarding process of evaluating the profile. Based on their profile, we help them with university shortlisting, documentation process, visa guidance, financing, and other pre-departure activities out there. And with that, we have something special for students who are looking for a little bit more additional guidance from Galvanize, wherein we help students with a profile valuation call. As you saw, initially it was a paid service, but now for today's attendees, we would like to give it on a free note. And that is why I would like to freeze my screen here for a couple of minutes so that you can fill in the form here. You can make a note of the link that has been shared with you, and you can get in touch with us where our experts could help you understanding when is the right time to take the GRE, or what are the best courses that you can take for GRE at Galvanize platform, with the additional details that come with how the test prep is going to help you, along with guiding you for the admission counseling services as well. So the link goes as gxprep.com/profile, or you could also click on the link that is sent on the chat box that will help you understand and get in touch with us out there. These are also our contact details in case you would like to get in touch with us and know more about Galvanized services. Please make a note of the contact details. But I would say best just click on the link that is sent on the chat box, so that that would help us get in touch with you as early as possible, and we can start with the preparations for your journey out there. And with that, we would now like to take up the questions that are there for the Q&A session out there. So Sowmiya ma'am, would you like to take up any questions and answer them, as we have last couple of minutes for students?
Yes, sure. How much does the mock cost? Ramya, I think.
Yes, again, yes. So for the student, I would request you to click on the link that is sent in the chat box, because that would help you connect with the right course, expert out there. And because we have a lot of courses out there in Galvanize. We have a 45-day course, we have a 3 months course, 6 months course, 1 year course as well. So every course varies out there. But again, based on your requirement and, your level of preparedness level, we would suggest you the course. So I would request you to please click on the link that is sent in the chat box, and you will get more details out there.
If we give GRE on 22nd September, will the time be sufficient for applying for January intake? That is a doubtful question only, Sai Bhargav. I would suggest that if you plan for a spring intake, right, then it's not advisable to go till 22nd December, though they have promised that you will get your score report within 8 to 10 days. That's a promise that's been given by ETS. So we hope that the promise is kept and then we get that score within 8 days. But I would suggest not do that risk, take that risk now. So if you're planning for a January intake, by now you should have taken your GRE, or try to take your GRE before your second week of August or so. Okay.
So here, ma'am, I would just like to add a piece of advice to Sai Bhargav as well. So Sai, as you're planning for the spring intake out there, we would truly suggest you to get in touch with us, because in this case, our counselors basically would be able to help you understand which universities, you can apply for the
Exactly.
January intake out there, and getting an expert knowledge in this case, because as Sowmiya ma'am said rightly, that you're a little bit late with respect to applications, giving your GRE. So please get in touch with us, fill in the form that is shared. So our expert will get back to you, and then you can explain your situation, and they would suggest what are the other alternatives that you can take up for this, January intake out there. So again, please do fill in the form, and we will get in touch with you.
What can you say about new mode of GRE exam? This is what I started this entire webinar with, Sowmiya. I'm not very sure if you were there during the start of the webinar. I just clearly laid down the differences and similarities between the current GRE and the enhanced GRE. As Sai Bhargav said, if you plan to take your, go for your spring intake, right? That's in January. You should have completed GRE by now, or maybe by August or so. But then if you're planning for the next fall, I would advise go for this 22nd enhancements, like the new mode of exam, which is going to be more student friendly, less number of essays, AWA. Of course, none of us would want to sit for 4 hours when the exam is for 2 hours, right? Obviously, right? It's quite natural. So go for the enhancements. That's going to be much student friendly. So right now we are getting feedback from the TOEFL takers who have taken the new TOEFL enhancements. I'm very sure that very similar to that, GRE is going to also made very student friendly. Yes. Does it answer your question, Sowmiya? And you could also, the recording of this webinar will be shared with you. To the start of the webinar, at the start of the webinar, I'd given the clear differences and similarities between the new and the current pattern. So you can look at that also if that's going to answer your question. Yes, Neeraj Pandit, what is the normally schedule for the GRE classes during the week? What's the average class batch size for the online live GRE class? We right now have a self-paced course only, Neeraj Pandit. So we have a structured study plan for you. So depending on your diagnostic test score and the time you have per day, right? We give you a study plan. Suppose you are a working professional and you might be able to spend only 2 to 3 hours a day, right? So ideal duration for preparation of GRE would be 45 days. Right, that's the right duration for preparation of GRE for both verbal and quant taken together. So per day, at least 3 hours you might have to spend if you're going to take the 45-day schedule. But we have different study plan for different people. So we don't have a class. Instructor-led classes are not there. We don't have an online live GRE class, but our videos are quite good, as I showed you during the webinar, right? You just look at the videos, all your doubts will be clear. So it will be like your teaching videos only. So you just have to go through the task per day allotted in the study plan. That's more than sufficient for you. And then, of course, unlimited Ask the Experts. We are there to help you out all the days. I mean, every day, right? You can post your doubts will be answered. And you will have a dedicated course managers to which you can raise your concerns if you have any. But the dedicated course managers also, right? They are like ladies with a stick. They'll let you know, hey, you have not done the task today, complete it. You are like 2 minutes tasks behind the task. So please do it. So they will all be guiding you towards this process, right? To make sure that you end into your dream university. That's the end goal. Online live GRE classes. No, we don't have online live GRE classes conducted. But if you want any, right, could you place a request to the marketing team, to the study abroad advisors? We have their numbers given by Ramya. So you could place a request if you want any such classes where we could teach you all this. But then right now we have self-paced course. Those are more than enough for students to crack a GRE, right? To get a 170. Of course, yes. Ramya, here's the Sai Bhargav as his question. As mentioned about the $60 discount code, will it be provided if we join the course?
Yes, of course, Sai Bhargav, we will be providing you with the discount code that is given. So I would request you, the reason I'm insisting on the form or the link that is being shared is this gives us an idea, and we will be able to get in touch with you personally and, give details about how you can avail these offers out there. So please fill in the form and our experts will get in touch with you, and whatever doubt you have, you can get in touch with them and get it solved out there.
Okay. Ash Lupin said, can you suggest books or tips to enhance vocab and analytical section like novel or a book apart from textbooks? Okay, fine. Ash, I'm not very sure if you had been following our webinars. We have exclusive GRE verbal webinars also that's going on. So enhance vocab app. So please go to the mobile Google Play Store, right? And then download our ultimate GRE vocabulary app. Excellent vocab app that you can see in the world. That's an excellent vocab app. You just go through it. It's a playway method of learning, right? If you just look at it and then the way the words are, the etymology of the words, the phonetics of the words, and also the meanings of the words, I mean, in the context, put it in the context with the pictures and all that so that you can register it. So you just go through that Many students across the world have got benefited by that vocabulary app. I would suggest you download that on the Play Store, and then definitely you will be, you'll find it very useful for your vocabulary, to enhance your vocabulary. Yeah, see, Ramya shared that link here. You can download it on the Play Store. Hashim, you said something concerning possible values of X must be 2 or 3 answers. The one you did in this meeting, which was only one value of X. Thanks. Okay. So this is a select select all that apply. That was the question, right? That was on square root of X plus square root of Y is equal to square root of X plus Y and so on. X and Y are positive integers. Normally, in a multiple answer question, they would expect you to select at least 2 answer choices, 2 or 3, more than one. If it's just one, it would say select only one answer choice. But here, the question was worded as select more than one, select all that apply, which was little misleading for the test takers. So test takers thought there could be more than one answer choice. They were little confused. This was the feedback that I got from the actual test takers. This is an actual GRE question, recent GRE question. Okay, so that is why I said, so don't get panicky about that. You could have a select one answer choice, but the question would be select all that apply. Though the question was misleading, don't go by the question. If you get one answer choice, be confident about your answer choice. That's what I was trying to say. Ash Lupin says, I've been watching your videos. They're really helpful there. Thanks. Are there tips for me to add any activity stuff in my routine that could help me in the long term for GRE? Because I'm currently in my 4th year med student. Hope to take GRE after my final exams. So this is what we are talking about, personalized study plan, Ash. So if you want to plan to start your preparation right away, you could start that right away. Since you are a med student, right? If you want more inputs for your math, and then enhance your math skills, refresh, we have basic videos. We have several study plans. You could have starting from, if I'm starting from prepare for GMAT or GRE would be the best thing to do. Prepare for GRE within 2 months. That would be the ideal thing to do and more. Ash Lupin, just to complete your query. So we have several study plan structure for students. It could be a 15-day, it could be 30, 45, 60. We go as long as 360 days plan. Okay. So based on when you plan to take your GRE, you could go slow or you could go fast with like 4 hours per day you can spend, or just 1 hour per day you could spend. Right? Anmol, GRE is the best thing to do. I said, can a good score of GRE will be focusing more in abroad if applicant academic result is good? Of course, yes. See, GRE is, I wouldn't say it's a complete supplement of, I wouldn't say your academic score should be too poor and then your GRE score, even if you get a 170, right, or a 340 in GRE, and they're going to take you. Definitely, they're going to look at your academic score. But definitely, it's going to supplement your poor academic score. Suppose your GPA is, for example, GPA, say it's like 6 point something. And if you get a very good GRE score, for example, you get a GRE score 320, definitely universities are going to consider you, right? They wouldn't reject you. But if your score is just 6 here and your GRE score is also less, then that's going to be a problem for you, right? So GRE scores, definitely it's going to boost your admission. I mean, your what do I say? Your chances of getting abroad, chances of getting selected by the universities, definitely GRE score is a booster if your academic score is low. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Taud Ahmed. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Any more questions?
I think we have almost answered all the questions that were there, ma'am. And with this, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you as well for taking time and speaking to students and conducting a webinar out there to help students.
I have to tell you all, you have been a wonderful audience here. I mean, I was very happy to see you all respond immediately to the questions, right? That is what makes we instructors happy. We want the students to respond to whatever queries that we have and ask questions. So that is when the learning happens. For both the instructors and the students. Instructors always keep learning. We teach, we also learn, right? So this is what happens at Galvanize. Have fun while learning. That is also the motto of Galvanize, right? It's not just for the competitive exam. Of course, competitive exam is one thing, but en route, right, you will start enjoying mathematics. Students who have, we have students, testimonials of students, which I couldn't share in this because of the time constraint. We have students who have told us happily that they've started falling in love with math with the several videos that we have. They have learned math from the scratch. Whatever they had missed in the high school, they have learned it and very confident to attack an exam like GRE. So that is how our pedagogy works. So I'm sure if you enroll with Galvanize, you will also enjoy the same thing that other students have enjoyed. Yes, Ramya. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you for this. Thank you for being a wonderful co-host.